Yeah. Check, check, check. Okay, okay. Oh, howdy there. You know, today I decided to do something a little bit different. Sometimes I sit down, I gotta write a script, and then I gotta edit the script, then I gotta record audio. No, not for this video. I decided I'm gonna slap the GoPro onto my bookshelf, and I'm gonna talk at it. Because I'm talking about casual games. I think a lot of importance is placed into the hardcore gaming sphere. The games that take hundreds of hours to complete, games where you can die in one single hit from even the most minor enemy that you encounter, games where it's all about timing, difficulty spikes, hardcore, in-depth storytelling games. And those games are incredibly important. And most of the time, some of my favorite games. Games that you can sink hours into. Games that you can truly enjoy on another level rather than just being, fodder for your eyes in front of your face. However, I think the importance of casual games can often get overlooked. Now, these are games where you can just sit down, you can play them for 20, 30 minutes, and then you can just walk away, and it really doesn't matter too much. There's progression in these games, but it's not the whole focus or importance of the game. I'm not saying that these games are super easy or anything like that for these newbies. For those newbies out there, the noobs. But instead, it's games where you can just take a quick little bite of them, enjoy your experience, and then move on with your life without having to sink hours and hours of time and learning every single combat system and reading the wiki in order to best defeat all the different bosses that you will take on or anything like that. These are a couple games that I have experienced recently that I want to just briefly talk about. Rain on My Parade is a game that I maybe played for about 2 hours, but it was a lot of fun. The whole game consists of basically these simple puzzles where you're floating around as a cloud and you have to rain on different objects. Sometimes those are people, sometimes it's electricity, sometimes it's whatever. And it's vaguely puzzle related, but also it ties into a lot of sort of gimmicky, humor-based type water puzzles. It's sort of physicsy, not exactly. Okay, that's my overall review of the game. And it was a lot of fun. Again, super casual, super easy to just kind of hop in, spend a little bit of time doing it, and then hop off and frankly uninstall it from my Xbox and never play it again. But during the time that I spent with it, I thought it was fun. Again, quick little snack. Tasty. Good stuff. Rain on My Parade. It's on Game Pass. Really fun stuff. I'm pretty sure all these games are on Game Pass. That is how I consume every single game that I play now, I think. Second game is Donut County. It's very similar to Rain on My Parade. Each level is its own kind of standalone environment. But instead of being a cloud that rains on stuff, you're a hole that moves around and swallows stuff up. I don't know how to explain it other than that. Turns out you're actually a raccoon controlling the hole through an app because there's a raccoon king trying to take over the world and swallow up all the garbage because they're raccoons and raccoons love garbage, is the premise of the game. I did end up beating Donut County. It was an overall fun experience. Again, very casual, pretty easy overall to beat in a timely manner. Maybe takes a couple, 3-4 hours or so. But it was worth it, mostly for the humor that the game included, the fun visual style, this kind of isometric graphics that are tied into it. My Windows update is happening currently. And then also the good writing, I think, that is included throughout that makes the game fun. But again, a good casual type game that you don't have to spend too much time playing, don't have to invest too much thought process into, but it was a fun experience. Third game, Cluster Truck. This game was pretty hard. I did beat it as well. The final level was quite the experience for me, but I did eventually beat the final level. Cluster Truck's a game where there's a whole bunch of trucks driving forward and you have to hop on the top of them to get to the end of the level. Again, this is sort of a physics-based, platformer, I guess is the way that you would describe it. But within the platforming, it's just a lot of chaos. I think the closest comparison I have to it is Super Meat Boy, in my experience, where it's a lot of timing and jumping, But whereas Super Meat Boy is very skill-based, Cluster Truck has a lot of randomness, where sometimes the trucks will behave in one way, and then the very next round they'll behave in a totally different way, and that's part of the chaos and the fun that is included in a game like Cluster Truck. I do recommend it. It was a lot of fun. I think it came out like years ago at this point, so if you haven't played it, I don't know what you're doing, as if you're into these kind of casual games, but Cluster Truck was fun. Another truck-related game, or I guess it's not necessarily just trucks, but another casual-based game is Snakey Bus. Okay, this is Snake, but you're in a first-person bus driving around a level instead. Every time you pick up passengers and drop them off from your bus, your bus gets a little bit longer, and you see how far you can go. It's kind of a never-ending game. Again, not really one where you have like an objective or where you win, unless your goal is to get like the high score or something like that. Again, a game based around physics, based vaguely around platforming, and based around just the chaos. Sometimes you crash into a wall and your bus will just stop moving. And then sometimes you crash into a wall and your bus gets launched 75 feet into the air for no apparent reason. But that's part of the chaos that makes it fun. For a game that isn't hyper competitive, the chaos only adds to it rather than takes away from some other types of games. Snakey Bus, good time overall. I did get all of the achievements in it, and then I stopped playing it forever. Not my personal favorite game that I've ever played, but I don't really like the snake. You know, I just don't like the snake game. You know, I remember my dad had this like brick phone, and it had Snake on it, and I used to play it all the time. Never enjoyed it. Finally, the last game on my list is a game called River Bond. Now, I played this game with my wife. She absolutely loved it, and she doesn't really like video games too much other than Animal Crossing New Horizons, which she got obsessed with because we're in quarantine and we bought a Switch, and then she bought, she got Animal Crossing, and all her friends had Animal Crossing, so then she became obsessed with the turnip prices and, the things like that. But for the most part, she's not really into video games. But we beat all of River Bond together, and I think that's the only game like that we've ever had. We've gotten close with other games. Overcooked 2, we got about halfway through, hit the really hard levels, couldn't beat them, said fuck off. But with River Bond, it's a top-down, dual-stick action game. Very similar in a lot of ways to Minecraft Dungeons, but this game came out first. So fuck off, Minecraft Dungeons. Similar graphical style with the pixel art graphics. Similar combat, but in this game, you can be a pug. Or you can be a donut. I rest my case. But really fun, really straightforward, simple, not a lot of difficult objectives that you have to take on. Even when you die, you can basically just restart right from where you were and keep on rolling on without any sweat off your brow. And I did appreciate that. Again, when you're playing video games with somebody who's not necessarily into video games, when you hit a wall, like in Overcooked, when we hit that wall of like, we cannot beat these levels, basically that's game over. You're not going to play that game ever again. There's never that moment where you're going to try and overcome the challenge of it. And that's the beauty of casual games, is you can accomplish something, you can beat the game without having to hit that wall. And I know there can be a lot of said about like, but the best thing about video games is that you overcome the challenges that are presented to you. Which is true in some instances, right? Some games that is a huge bonus, but not when you're just trying to play something for fun with your family, with your wife, with your kids, whoever, right? And that's the beauty of a game like River Bond, is it was never too difficult. Right? We could take on everything and just keep on rolling through it, and that was a lot of fun. So that's my list of casual games. You got casual games that you like? What are they? So let me know. You guys like playing the video games? I certainly like playing the video games for the most part. If you like playing video games, then hit the subscribe button, and I'll send you a t-shirt. Bye!